Admiral James Walker stood at the massive window of Earth Defense Force headquarters, his weathered hands clasped behind his back. The sprawling city of New Geneva stretched below, its buildings gleaming in the morning sun. He watched as flying vehicles moved through designated lanes in the sky, a sight that would have seemed impossible just 50 years ago. The calm morning shattered when every screen in the command center suddenly flickered to life. The massive alien face that appeared made several junior officers jump from their seats. The creature had gray skin, 4 eyes, and what looked like tentacles where a mouth should be. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English, its tentacles moving in unsettling ways. "I am High Commander Rax of the Galactic Council. Your world has been watched, studied, and judged. The Council has reached its decision." Walker's jaw tightened. He had always known this day might come, but he had hoped it wouldn't be during his command. "Your species is deemed too volatile, too unpredictable to remain independent," Rax continued. "Your rapid technological advancement, coupled with your violent history, makes you a threat to galactic peace. You have 30 Earth days to submit to Council rule. If you refuse," the alien's 4 eyes narrowed, "there will be consequences." The transmission cut off, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Walker didn't waste time. "Get me the president," he ordered, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "and connect me to all major world leaders." Now, within hours, the United Earth Council chamber was packed. For the first time in history, every nation's leader gathered in one room without argument or protest. The threat of alien invasion had accomplished what centuries of diplomacy couldn't: true human unity. President Garcia of the Global Alliance stood at the podium. "They expect us to just roll over and submit," she said, her voice carrying across the chamber. "They think we're primitive, violent, and weak." "They're right about the violent part," Walker spoke up from his position near the podium. "But they're making a crucial mistake. They're judging us by their standards, not understanding what makes humans unique." He walked to the center of the chamber, activating a holographic display. "In the past 50 years, we've achieved more technological advancement than in all previous centuries combined. We've colonized Mars, built bases on the moon, and mastered fusion energy. And those are just the advancements we've made public." The room grew quiet as Walker's words sank in. Everyone present knew about Project Dark Shield, the classified space defense program that had been consuming massive resources for the past decade. The public thought those resources were going to Mars colonization efforts. "They're giving us 30 days, Walker continued. "They expect us to spend that time arguing among ourselves, weakening our position. Instead, we'll give them something they don't expect: absolute human unity and coordination." President Garcia nodded, all in favor of implementing the Emergency World Unity Protocol. Hands raised across the chamber. There were no objections, no abstentions. For the first time in human history, Earth would speak and act as one. Walker left the chamber after the vote, his mind already working on defense strategies. His communicator beeped. A message from Dr. Emma Stone at the Quantum Research Facility on Mars. "Admiral." Her voice came through, excited despite the crisis. "The quantum shield tests were successful. We can have the system ready within 20 days. Walker allowed himself a small smile. The Galactic Council had made 3 critical mistakes. They had given humans time to prepare. They had underestimated human technology. And most importantly, they had given humanity a common enemy. As he looked out over New Geneva again, Walker thought about how the aliens saw humans as violent, unpredictable, and dangerous. They weren't wrong, but they had failed to understand that these same qualities had helped humans survive and thrive against impossible odds throughout their history. The next 30 days would show the galaxy exactly what humans were capable of when backed into a corner, and Walker had a feeling the Galactic Council was about to get the shock of their existence. In their arrogance, they had united humanity. Soon, they would learn why that was a terrible mistake. The attack came without warning on day 15 of the ultimatum. The moon colony sensors detected the alien ships just seconds before they opened fire. Purple beams of energy sliced through the dome of Colony Section 4, home to 200 civilian scientists and their families. In Earth Defense Headquarters, Admiral Walker watched the attack through live feeds, his face hard as stone. "Status report," he demanded. "Colony Section 4 is gone, sir," a young officer reported, his voice shaking. "The other sections have sealed themselves, but their shields are failing." Walker pressed a button on his command console. "Dr. Stone, are you seeing this?" "Yes, Admiral." Dr. Stone's voice came through clearly from Mars. "They're testing us, showing off their power. But they've just made a huge mistake." "Agreed." Walker turned to his communications officer. "Activate Protocol Dark Shield." Authorization Walker Alpha 7. Across the lunar surface, hidden panels slid open. What appeared to be simple solar arrays transformed, revealing advanced weapons systems that had been disguised for years. The console ships, believing they faced helpless civilian targets, didn't react in time. Blue-white beams shot up from the lunar surface, catching 3 alien vessels completely by surprise. Their shields flickered and failed under the unexpected assault. 2 ships exploded in silent bursts of light, while the third spun out of control before managing to jump away. "Sir," the tactical officer called out, "the remaining console ships are retreating. They didn't expect us to have defensive capabilities on the moon." Walker nodded grimly. "Of course they didn't. That's why we hid them in plain sight." He opened a channel to Mars. "Dr. Stone, how long until the quantum shields are ready?" "The attack accelerated our timeline," she replied. "We're bringing them online now. The console's energy weapons actually helped us calibrate the final settings. We can protect Earth and all colonies within 10 hours." News of the attack spread rapidly across Earth. Instead of causing panic, it strengthened humanity's resolve. Recruitment centers for the Earth Defense Force were flooded with volunteers. Factories switched to military production with unprecedented speed. In an emergency session of the United Earth Council, President Garcia addressed the world's leaders. The council thought this attack would frighten us into submission. Instead, they showed their true nature. They claimed to be civilized, yet they targeted civilians. They speak of peace while launching unprovoked attacks. Walker stepped up to the podium next. "The enemy believes they caught us unprepared. Their scans showed minimal defenses, outdated technology, and scattered military forces. What they don't know is that we've been preparing for this possibility for years." He activated a holographic display showing Mars. "While they watched our moon colonies, our real work was happening here." The image zoomed in, revealing massive underground facilities. "Meet humanity's real space fleet." The chamber erupted in gasps, as the image showed hundreds of advanced warships hidden beneath the Martian surface. These weren't the clunky vessels Earth used for public space travel. These ships were sleek, powerful, and built for war. "The Council races share a common technology base," Walker explained. "They all developed along similar lines, which is why they think they know what we're capable of. But humans took a different path. Our quantum shields and phase shift weapons operate on principles they'd never encountered." Dr. Stone's voice joined the presentation from Mars. "The attack provided valuable data. Their weapons are powerful but predictable. Our countermeasures are ready. The next time they attack, they'll find Earth is far from defenseless." President Garcia stood again. "The Council gave us 30 days to submit. Instead, we'll use that time to prepare our response." They threw the first punch, expecting us to crumble. Now they'll learn why humanity has survived every crisis in our history. In orbit around Earth, the quantum shield system quietly came online, its network spreading to protect the Moon and Mars. Hidden sensors tracked Council spy satellites, feeding them false information about Earth's capabilities. The Council had meant their attack as a show of force. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. In their arrogance, they never consider this simple truth. Nothing unites humans more effectively than a common enemy. And now, humanity was united, angry, and ready to fight back. Deep beneath the Martian surface, Dr. Emma Stone walked through rows of gleaming spacecraft. Each ship represented years of secret development, combining Earth's best technology with innovations that would shock the Galactic Council. The massive underground hangar stretched for miles, housing humanity's true space fleet. Status report. She called out to her team of engineers. Phase shift drives are at full power, replied her chief engineer, Mike. He pointed to the nearest ship, its hull shimmering with a faint blue glow. The Council won't believe what these babies can do. Dr. Stone smiled. While the aliens had focused on energy weapons and shields, humans had taken a different approach. Their ships could literally shift between dimensions, becoming invisible and untouchable to conventional weapons. Her tablet beeped with an incoming call from Admiral Walker. Doctor, are the ships ready? Better than ready, she answered. The test runs exceeded our expectations. The Council's attack on the Moon gave us perfect data on their weapons. Our countermeasures are now fully calibrated. Good. Walker's face showed grim satisfaction. Because our spies just reported something interesting. The Council thinks we're busy cowering in fear. Their fleet is gathering for what they think will be a quick victory. Dr. Stone walked to the command center, where a massive screen showed the positions of Council ships. They were concentrating their forces at strategic points, preparing to overwhelm Earth's defenses with superior numbers. They still don't know about our underground bases, she observed. Their scans can't penetrate our stealth shielding. That's their third major mistake, Walker replied. First, they gave us time to prepare. Second, they showed us their weapons. And now, they think they know where all our forces are. The next few hours were a blur of activity. Ships' crews took their positions. Engineers ran final checks on the phase shift drives. Dr. Stone's team activated the quantum communication network that would coordinate Earth's fleet. All ships report ready, Mike announced. Just waiting for your signal, Doctor. Dr. Stone opened a channel to all ships in the underground base. Remember your training. You're about to use technology that no other species has developed. The Council thinks they know what humans are capable of. Let's show them how wrong they are. On her command, the ground above the base split open. Massive doors, disguised as natural Martian terrain, slowly parted. One by one, Earth's hidden fleet rose from the underground hangar, their phase shift drives humming with power. In orbit around Earth, Council spy satellites detected nothing unusual. Their advanced sensors, designed to spot normal spacecraft, were useless against human phase shift technology. The entire fleet might as well have been invisible. Admiral Walker's voice came through the quantum comm. All ships, execute Operation Shadow Strike. Show them what humanity can do when pushed too far. The fleet split into 3 groups. The first headed toward the Council's main supply base. The second targeted their primary shipyard. The third, led by Dr. Stone herself, moved to protect Earth from any counterattack. Phase shift drives engaged, Mike reported. The ship shifted slightly out of normal space, becoming invisible to conventional sensors. They could still see each other thanks to the quantum network, but to the Council's technology, they simply didn't exist. Dr. Stone watched her tactical display as the first human ships approached the Council's supply base. The aliens had no warning, no idea that hundreds of advanced Earth vessels were about to appear in their midst. "This is what happens when you underestimate humans," she muttered. "We don't just adapt to challenges. We completely change the rules of the game." The quantum comm crackled with Admiral Walker's voice one last time. "All ships, prepare for combat. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting to show the galaxy that humanity will never bow to threats or bullies." In the silence of space, Earth's hidden fleet prepared to deliver a message that the Galactic Council would never forget. They had pushed humanity into a corner, expecting submission. Instead, they were about to face the full force of human ingenuity and determination, and they wouldn't know what hit them until it was too late. The Council's main shipyard burst into chaos as Earth's ships suddenly appeared from nowhere. One moment, the alien commanders were watching their sensor screens showing empty space. The next, hundreds of human warships materialized inside their defensive perimeter. Admiral Walker stood on the bridge of his flagship, the EDF Thunder. "All ships, execute attack pattern Delta," he ordered through the quantum network. "Show them what we can do." The human fleet moved with perfect coordination. While Council ships tried to raise their shields, Earth vessels were already shifting between dimensions, passing straight through their defenses. Precision strikes disabled the shipyard's main power cores without destroying them completely. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "Second Fleet reports similar success at the supply base. The Council forces are in complete disarray." Walker nodded grimly. The aliens had never seen anything like this. Their ships fired powerful energy weapons into space, but the human vessels simply phased out of existence before the beams could hit them. At the Mars Command Center, Dr. Stone monitored the battles through the quantum network. "The phase shift drives are performing perfectly," she reported to Walker. "Council sensors can't track us when we shift." The aliens finally managed to organize a counterattack. A massive Council battleship, 10 times the size of the largest human vessel, moved to engage the Thunder. "They're trying to overwhelm us with raw power," Walker observed. "Typical. Show them why that won't work. Execute Maneuver Thunder 7. The Thunder's crew responded instantly. As the Council battleship fired its main weapon, the human ship phased slightly out of normal space. The energy beam passed harmlessly through where the Thunder had been. Before the aliens could react, the Thunder phased back in, directly above their ship. "Target their bridge," Walker commanded. "Surgical strikes only. We're here to win, not to massacre." Precise shots from the Thunder's quantum cannons disabled the Council battleship's command center. The massive vessel went dark, drifting helplessly in space. Similar scenes play out across all 3 battlefields. Council commanders watched in horror as their supposedly superior forces were systematically taken apart by ships that could ignore their strongest defenses. "Admiral," Dr. Stone's voice came through the quantum comm. "We're detecting a massive energy surge from the Council command station. They're trying to call in reinforcements." Walker smiled. "Let them. Phase 3 begins now." On his command, the Third Fleet dropped its phase cloak near the Council's main communication relay. The human ships had positioned themselves there hours ago, invisible to all sensors. "Cut off their communications," Walker ordered. "Let's see how well they fight when they can't coordinate their forces." Human quantum weapons struck with surgical precision. Within minutes, the Council's entire communication network was disabled. Their fleets, used to fighting as one coordinated force, suddenly found themselves isolated alone. In the Council's command center, High Commander Rax watched in disbelief as reports of defeats came in from all sectors. "Impossible," he muttered. "They were supposed to be primitives. Their technology was decades behind ours." A junior officer rushed in. "Sir, the humans? They've captured our main shipyard." They're broadcasting a message to all Council worlds. Admiral Walker's face appeared on screens across Council space. This is a demonstration, he announced calmly. You thought humans were primitive and weak. You thought we would submit to threats. Instead, we showed you a fraction of our true capabilities. He paused, letting his words sink in. We could continue this attack. We could dismantle your entire military infrastructure. Instead, we offer you a choice. Withdraw your forces and recognize Earth as an equal, or learn just how much more humanity can do when truly provoked. The Council shipyard, their pride and joy, now flew Earth's flag alongside its own. It was a clear message. Humans weren't just fighting back. They were winning decisively. In just 6 hours of combat, humanity had accomplished what the Council thought impossible. They had proven themselves not just equal to the galaxy's strongest power, but in many ways superior. And they were just getting started. The Council's Grand Assembly Hall buzzed with angry voices. Representatives from 50 alien species argued as news of the human victory spread. Massive screens showed Earth's fleet in control of the Council's most important shipyard, a sight that was causing panic throughout the galaxy. Ambassador Tom Reed walked calmly into this chaos. As Earth's first official representative to the Council, he had been chosen for his steady nerves. The alien delegates fell silent as he approached the speaker's platform, many seeing the human in person for the first time. Members of the Council, he began, his voice firm and clear. 3 weeks ago, your leaders threatened Earth with destruction if we didn't submit to your rule. Today, we've shown you why that was a mistake. The assembly erupted again. A tall, blue-skinned delegate stood up. This is outrageous. You're nothing but savages with stolen technology. Reed smiled. Stolen? Every ship, every weapon, every advancement we use today was developed by human scientists. While you watched our public space program and judged us primitive, we were busy innovating in ways you never imagined. He activated a holographic display, showing the phase shift technology in action. We didn't follow your technological path because we found a better one. And we hid our progress because we knew some of you would react exactly as you did, with fear and aggression. In orbit above the Council homeworld, Admiral Walker's fleet maintained its position. The thunder sensors detected hundreds of Council ships nearby, but none dared to approach. Earth's display of power had made them cautious. Admiral, Dr. Stone's voice came through the quantum comm. Our data mining of the Council's networks is complete. You need to see this. Walker reviewed the files and immediately contacted Ambassador Reed. Tom, we found proof. The attack on Earth wasn't a Council decision. It was orchestrated by a small group of corrupt leaders, including High Commander Rax. Reed received the data during his speech. Without missing a beat, he projected the evidence for all to see. These documents show that certain Council leaders engineered this crisis. They falsified reports about Earth, exaggerated our aggression, and pushed for military action to serve their own interests. The assembly descended into chaos again. Several smaller species representatives approached Reed privately, expressing their desire for alliance with Earth. They had long suffered under the corrupt leadership of the dominant Council races. High Commander Rax burst into the chamber, his 4 eyes blazing with fury. Guards, arrest the human. But the guards didn't move. Instead, Council security forces entered and moved toward Rax himself. High Commander announced the head of Council security. You are under arrest for corruption, abuse of power, and attempting to start an illegal war. Reed watched calmly as Rax was led away. Earth doesn't seek revenge. He addressed the assembly again. We want peace, trade, and mutual respect, but we will never accept bullying or threats. In the following hours, delegations from 20 different species approached Reed to establish diplomatic relations. The smaller council races, impressed by Earth's restraint and victory, saw an opportunity for a more balanced galactic power structure. Dr. Stone, monitoring from Mars, reported to Walker. The Council's internal communications show their military leaders are in shock. They can't understand how we leaped ahead of them technologically. Walker smiled. That's because they don't understand humans. When we're threatened, we don't just fight back. We innovate, adapt, and overcome. As the day ended, Reed sent his final report to Earth's leaders. The Council is fracturing, but in a way that benefits us. The corrupt leadership is being purged. Smaller species are seeking our protection. And the major powers have learned they can't bully humanity. The message was clear throughout the galaxy. Humans weren't just another species to be conquered or controlled. They were a force to be respected, capable of achievements that defy conventional wisdom. And this was just the beginning of humanity's rise in galactic politics. Operation Thunderclap began at exactly midnight Earth time. Admiral Walker stood on the Thunder's bridge, watching as 500 human ships emerged from phase shift around the Council's Central Space Station. The massive structure, home to the corrupt Council leadership, was about to learn why humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. All ships in position, his tactical officer reported. Dr. Stone's quantum disruptors are ready. Walker opened a channel to all ships. Remember, this isn't about revenge. This is about justice and establishing a new order. Disable their defenses, but minimize casualties. Show them that humans can be powerful and merciful at the same time. Execute Phase 1. Walker commanded. Dr. Stone, coordinating from her position on Mars, activated the quantum disruption network. Waves of invisible energy spread across space, targeting the station's communication systems. Within seconds, the Council leadership was cut off from their military forces. Their quantum shields are failing, reported Mike from the engineering station. They never expected us to attack the fundamental forces of space-time itself. Inside the station, chaos erupted. Council leaders, who had supported the attack on Earth, tried desperately to maintain control. Their advanced technology, once their pride, was being systematically shut down by human innovations they couldn't understand. Phase 2. Walker ordered. Boarding teams. Move in. Special Forces teams from Earth, using personal phase shift devices, walked straight through the station's walls. Council security forces found themselves fighting an enemy that could appear and disappear at will. Within minutes, key control centers fell to human forces. Ambassador Reed's voice came through the quantum comm. Admiral, our allies are in position. The reformed Council members are ready to move in and take control once we've secured the station. Understood. Walker watched as more sections of the station turned from red to green on his tactical display. Dr. Stone. Begin Phase 3. From hidden positions around the station, small human drones activated. Instead of weapons, they carried advanced broadcasting equipment. Soon, every screen in Council space showed the truth. Video evidence of corruption. Secret meetings planning the attack on Earth. And the real reason behind the Council's fear. Humanity's potential to change the galactic balance of power. High Commander Rex, who had escaped custody during the political chaos, made his last stand in the station's central control room. You primitives, he shouted as human forces approached. You're destroying centuries of order. No, Walker replied through the station's speakers. We're fixing a corrupt system. The galaxy deserves better leadership. The final assault took less than 10 minutes. Human phase shift troops appeared inside the control room from multiple directions. Rax and his loyal followers found their weapons disabled by quantum fields they couldn't detect, let alone counter. As Council forces surrendered across the station, Dr. Stone reported a surprising discovery. "Admiral, we've found their restricted archives." They didn't just fear our technology. They feared our ability to unite and adapt. Their studies showed that humans advance faster under pressure than any known species. Walker smiled. "They thought threatening us would keep us down. Instead, it just made us stronger." Ambassador Reed arrived with representatives from the reformed council members. As Rax was led away in custody, Reed addressed the station's occupants through its communications system. "Today marks a new era in galactic politics. No more corruption. No more rule by fear. Earth isn't here to conquer, but to help build a better future for all species." The operation had taken less than an hour. Earth's forces had captured the center of galactic power without a single death on either side. It was a display of not just military might, but of human values, efficiency, mercy, and justice combined. As the dust settled, Walker looked out at the stars through the station's massive windows. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage not as conquerors or subjects, but as champions of positive change. The galaxy would never be the same. 1 month after Operation Thunderclap, the newly reformed Galactic Council held its first session. The massive chamber, once a symbol of corruption and power, now hosted representatives from all spacefaring species, including smaller races that had previously been excluded. Ambassador Tom Reed sat in Earth's newly assigned seat, equal in position to the oldest council races. The changes were visible everywhere. The circular arrangement of seats replacing the old hierarchical layout, the open data networks replacing secret channels, and most importantly, the presence of human peacekeeping forces alongside council security. Admiral Walker stood at the speaker's platform, his uniform carrying both Earth Defense Force and Galactic Peace Command insignias. "The galaxy stands at a crossroads," he began. 1 month ago, human forces could have taken control of the Council by force. Instead, we chose a different path. The assembled delegates listened intently as Walker activated a holographic display, showing the new defensive network. Human phase shift technology, combined with traditional council systems, now protected trade routes and peaceful worlds from pirates and aggressive powers. Dr. Stone, now head of the Joint Species Technology Exchange, took the platform next. "Our quantum communication network is now available to all member worlds," she announced. "But more importantly, we've established research centers where scientists from all species can work together. Innovation shouldn't be hidden or hoarded." In orbit above, the Thunder patrolled alongside ships from 20 different species. The combined fleet represented the new face of galactic peacekeeping. Diverse, cooperative, and powerful. The former leadership feared human unpredictability. Reed addressed the assembly. They saw our rapid advancement as a threat. But they failed to understand that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our military power. It's our ability to learn, adapt, and work together. He gestured to the reformed council chamber. "Look around. A month ago, many of your species were bitter rivals. Now, you're trading partners, sharing technology and resources. This is what humans do best. We don't just overcome challenges. We build something better from them." The delegates murmured in agreement. Already, the benefits of cooperation were showing. Smaller worlds that had struggled under the old system were flourishing. Trade was increasing. Scientific breakthroughs were being shared instead of hoarded. High Commander Rax and his corrupt allies, now awaiting trial, had feared human influence would destroy the old order. They were right. But what replaced it was stronger and more just. Earth doesn't seek to rule. Walker continued. "We've established the Earth Defense Force as part of the new Galactic Peace Command, serving all species equally. Our phase shift ships will protect trade routes." Our quantum networks will ensure open communication. But we're just one part of a larger community. Dr. Stone brought up displays showing the latest joint projects. Already, combining human innovation with council technology has led to breakthroughs. Together, we're achieving what none of us could do alone. The assembly erupted in applause as Reed announced the final piece of the new order. The Earth Council Technology Exchange Program is now open. Any peaceful world can join, sharing and receiving advancements that benefit all. As the session ended, Walker stood at the chamber's great window, watching ships from dozens of species moving peacefully through space. A month ago, these same species had been ready for war. Now they were allies. Quite a change. Reed joined him at the window. Hard to believe it all started with them, threatening Earth. Walker smiled. They thought they were dealing with primitive savages. Instead, they found equals who could teach them a few things about unity and innovation. And mercy, Dr. Stone added, walking up. Don't forget, we won without a single civilian casualty. That impressed them more than our technology. The three humans watched as a group of alien delegates approached, eager to discuss new trade agreements. In just 1 month, humanity had gone from threatened species to respected leader, proving that intelligence, innovation, and integrity were the true measures of civilization. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate humans, not just for their strength in battle, but for their capacity to build a better future for all.